Hello, today is July 23, 2018, and I would like to read about opportunity for happiness or unhappiness by our true father, Sun Myung Moon, March 2, 1975, and it was translated by Mrs. Won Pok Choi in Belvedere, Tarrytown, New York. True Father said, my topic this morning is opportunity for happiness or unhappiness. You are all now members of the Unification Church. As you know, the road of faith and the path of life are not always smooth. When you are 20, you are in the prime of life, but then when you reach 30, 50 years, your life is nearing its end. When you are under 20, you live with your parents, brothers, and sisters. But as you grow older, your brothers and sisters separate from you because they marry, and you yourself marry and separate from your parents. When you are married, your friends fade away as you grow older. Your feelings and emotions, affected by the environment and people around you, will shift to your own family. Other things either fade away or come to have little value for you. As you grow still older, your parents may pass away, and your relatives, friends, and people you have loved will separate from you. Even in your own home life, everything is not necessarily smooth and happy. You may be at odds with your husband or wife, or with your children. In a word, your path of life is bumpy. If you have had the experience of fishing along a seacoast or river bank, you may have noticed that during the night, the tide and the surface of the water change many times. We may want to be enveloped or embraced by nature at such a time of deep solitude and peace in the night. But in the next moment, when the wind comes up, everything changes. The water will be angry at you, surging onto the shoreline. Sometimes we think that nature is wondrous, stormy, and beautiful as it changes from peaceful to violent. When we are deeply indebted for life, we want to mature. We don't want to get older until we have to die. But it is a fact that we cannot stay in the prime of life. When you are young, you don't know the blessedness of being youthful. If you are given nourishing rich food all the time, you can't appreciate its value and goodness after a while. We can distinguish among foods that are sour, bitter, sweet, salty, and hot. There are changes of season from spring to summer or autumn and winter, and we can see the beauty of nature in those changes. Just imagine if we had daylight for 24 hours, what would happen? In the North Arctic, there are longer days. Then you would long for the darkness of night to come. Again, I must say that the beauty and wonder of nature come about when this kind of changes occur. When you first join the unification movement, you think it's wonderful and thrilling. I don't doubt that you have all experienced that. What is wonderful here? What do we have that is wonderful? Are the things you hear in this movement wonderful? Do you find it wonderful to find the people so active? Do you find it wonderful to live in the movement? There are so many things. The ideology of the Unification Church is beautiful, but it is hard to put into practice. Sometimes you may say, I don't want to live this way. Then what makes you think that it is wonderful to join this movement? When everything is not necessarily good, it doesn't mean that you are happy here. We must shift our philosophy so that we may feel happy when there are changes all around us. Before joining this movement, you were headed in one direction. But now, you are headed in one opposite direction. In the outside world, when you have an argument with some acquaintances, that's the end. You separate from those persons. But now, you have to be mingled together to become one in harmony. However hard it may be, you must succeed in that. The more you learn the divine principle, the more you know you have to pay the price of indemnity. In order for you to be able to pay the required indemnity, you must search for your enemy rather than your friends in order to pay off the debt. How can you call this happiness? Then we are asked the question, where is there any happiness at all? You hear many things, but there is no ultimate happiness here. You want to put what you learn into practice, but there's not necessarily happiness in doing that either. Only after winning victory in the divine principle can you feel real happiness. When you first join our movement, you feel you are very happy, but there's no guarantee that you are going to be happy all the way through. Unless you actualize what you learn in daily life, you cannot feel happy. When you attain your goal, you feel real happiness and find yourself a victor. You must overcome all the difficulties which you encountered on the way. And when you attain your goal, when you look back to your past, you feel real happiness. Then our conclusion is that our happiness can be felt only after winning the victory. Then what is unhappiness? What must the definition of unhappiness be? It is when you are a failure. Where is the boundary between happiness and unhappiness? There is no ready-made place of happiness or unhappiness. Your actions are the sole determinants of your happiness or lack of it. Thus, you always placed on the boundary line between happiness and unhappiness. Every moment you are there, step to your right and you become happy. But the moment you step to the left, just one step, you will fall into unhappiness. Step by step, you walk on the path of life. So to step forward is very important. When you want to step forward, it is always your mind that controls. When you look for happiness, you must always study carefully in your own mind, because your mind is the subject which must decide where to go. Everybody knows when they themselves are happy. You know the direction you must follow in order to gain that happiness. It is not that you don't know, not that you cannot carry it out. There is no single person in the world who doesn't know what unhappiness is and in what way we should act to avoid unhappiness. Isn't it true? Then, with the knowledge of what is happiness and what is unhappiness, why do you still follow the path of unhappiness? In a word, when we separate from God, we are unhappy. When we have God in our heart, we are always happy. In all of our actions, now your path is clear. So, until here, this is the first part of the topic that I want to share. Thank you very much once again, brothers and sisters, and have a blessed Sunday. Thank you very much. God bless you all.